Welcome once again to Super Flixx, the podcast covering superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy movies. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
We are members of the Martial Arts InterNetwork, and you can check out our other show, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, every Thursday on the Martial Arts InterNetwork. For more information, just check that out on the Martial Arts InterNetwork on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it's showtime. What's up, man?
Not much, Gene. Just enjoying time with the family, checking on my mom and in Italy. So other
Everything's
than
going
that,
good?
man, yeah, they're having a good time. She's checking out the nightlife in outside of Sicily today.
Okay.
So
She's
they
been over there,
just
what, a week?
yeah, tomorrow would be a week.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so they were in some place start with a T. I don't even remember what it's called, but they were there for 3 days. They got on a plane yesterday, flew into Sicily, and then they're traveling in a couple places over there. And then I can't remember the last destination. I gotta look it up. But the apartment that they're staying in, I was looking at pictures online. Oh my lord, it's gorgeous.
Okay.
So she's living it up. Getting up, having a nice breakfast, maybe a mimosa, drinking some wine, and they're just walking around, taking pictures. She did a cooking class, so uh, had a good time. So
Okay.
so far so good. And
Okay.
I just check in on her through the WhatsApp
Mm-hmm.
to make sure she's doing okay because she doesn't want any roaming charges.
Yeah.
So I figure usually about 3 or 4 o'clock, she's usually settling in and at the hotel, and so I'll just hit her a quick text, maybe a FaceTime, just to check in, see how she's doing,
Okay.
and then yeah, and then she'll have another week there, and we'll get to see her again.
Okay.
Now next week's gonna be rough for us because that's my kids go to school from my mom's house, so like
Mm.
she takes care of them in the morning. I mean, my wife is there, but my wife's usually running the high school kids to the high school. Then she comes back, has some breakfast, some coffee. My son chills. Then he goes to school. So they're still going to go to my mom's house
Mm-hmm.
because that's, the school's closer there,
Okay.
but they're not going to get all the amenities.
Yeah. um. Okay. Um. Man, I can't remember that. So that was last week's show. Was that last week's Superflix or Fist Kicks and Flicks where you told us about your mom in Italy?
Must have been.
I can't
It
remember.
might have been. It might have been on Superflex because she left Friday, so I might have been talking about it on a Wednesday.
Okay. Okay. Now, was it someone's birthday yesterday?
No,
You guys just went to Dave and Buster's on a random Wednesday.
this half off the everything.
Oh, I don't know, man. I didn't. I don't keep up with the specials at Dave and Buster's, man.
Okay, I'm gonna let you in on
Is
how
Dave and
my
Buster's like with Buffalo Wild Wings to Angel? Is that what Dave and Buster's is to you?
no, not exactly, because
Okay.
I mean we'll go there every once in a while. So whenever there's a break for school, like my wife has to like maximize the family time.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna try. She's gonna go to the zoo. Today, while I was at school, while I was at work, I'm thinking of them being off of school, me
Right.
going to work. While I'm at work, they went and had an art day. So they went downtown to the DIA. They went to Blick. It's an art store,
Yeah, I know what that
and
is.
then there's another place, uh, arts and stuff or something like that, and it has all these random things you can make art projects with, just all kinds of stuff, and you can get real cheap stuff for art projects. And so they go and do that. The kids each brought a friend. So yeah, when we're off and we're not traveling, my wife wants to make the most of everything,
Okay.
and I'm the opposite because I just want to chill.
Yeah. I'm like that too, man. I'm like that on the weekends all the time.
But it is, I get on board with it because it's all about making good memories and having fun and
Hmm.
just getting together and chilling. And we did. We went. I mean, it was just a random Dave and Buster's. We got a whole bunch of tickets. Um, I played some Mario Kart, and the kids wanted to go. They have this new human claw machine. Have you seen the previews for that?
No.
They actually like suspend you and like you're the claw and you got to pick up your prize.
Well, everybody should get a prize then, because I mean, you're definitely gonna grab
How it
something.
works. That's the thing. I don't know how it works. I don't know if like someone else is controlling it because it wasn't up. It wasn't working. So
Yeah, but I mean, it's not controlling your hand. I mean,
I
unless it's
know,
like
but
everybody should when they go down, they should
maybe it's
grab
hard
something.
to pick up. Maybe it only stays down for a second. I don't know. I have
Hmm.
to watch the thing again because we didn't get to do it.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So we had a nice Dave and Buster's, and then we hit some Taco Bell afterwards, and came home. I didn't get home till like 10.
I miss
I
Taco
thought
Bell. I haven't had Taco Bell in so long.
you could have some. There's plenty of
Oh, there's
vegan
stuff
options at
there.
Taco Bell.
No, no, yeah,
Oh,
there definitely stuff there, but man, my stomach does
so
not agree with Taco Bell.
oh yeah, that is a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah.
What was crazy? I haven't seen this yet, but apparently it's starting at different areas. So at the drive-through, it was AI taking our order.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they said I don't know if it was just for the day,
Hmm.
but they said and I when we pulled up, like I was like, that don't sound like a person. And my wife goes, yeah, it's AI. I'm like, oh, what in the hell? Oh man, it's starting already.
Okay.
Skynet is taking over.
Well, I know that a lot of McDonald's now they got rid of a person actually taking your order. Like, some, I mean, there are some maybe like one person is there, but a lot of them you just walk up to a screen and you can just put your order in now, and then they'll bring it out to you. McDonald's, then I've been to a few Burger King like that now also,
Yeah, the
and Taco
McDonald's
Bell.
I've seen, but this is the first time I've seen it. Like you're talking to a AI, like, and I just had a mobile order, so all I
Hmm.
had to say was had them bring up the mobile order and use my name, and then it said, make sure everything is right. And I'm like, sure, looks good to me. I think she had a name too. It was like Alice or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy, man.
Have you ever
Like
been in a car with someone and they wanted you to check the order, like open the package up and look at the food?
my
Are
wife's
you
like that.
are you one of those people?
I don't, and I have had food missing before, and to be honest with you, a lot of times if I drove off already, I'm not turning around for that shit.
No, no, no. I understand that, but that's not what I meant. Yeah, I get that. That's not what I mean, though. I mean, like, actually, like, if somebody says no lettuce and no tomato on this
Oh yeah,
sandwich, do you open your food up and? Because I don't. I'm not doing that. I'm like, no.
no, I'm not,
Yeah,
and
I
I've
get.
had because I'm always a no tomato,
Hmm.
and let me tell you, if there's tomato, I'm gonna be mad, but I'll just take it off. Like I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go back to a fast food restaurant where it's usually teenagers,
Hmm.
people that don't want to be there, not making a lot of money, and be
Hmm.
like, hey, you put a tomato, make my sandwich again. I'm getting spit. I'm not spitting on my sandwich. I'll just take that tomato off. I
Or
would
beat
rather
up.
have a tomato remnants than somebody else's
Yeah.
saliva on my food.
Yeah, you remember that
Oh
story I
man.
told you on Fist Kicks and Flicks, right? When I worked at
Yeah.
Burger King. You remember that story? I guess I'll tell it again. So I didn't tell it on Superflix, and it'd be unfair for people to try and go look that up because I have no idea what episode of Fist Kicks and Flicks that's on. But
Yeah, I don't even remember.
I'm working at Burger King, like it's literally like one of my first few weeks, and Ski used to work there with me also. And so this guy comes up and he orders a hamburger. I don't know, Whopper or whatever, but the thing that's important is he asked for extra pickles, right? So I had the job of just putting the burgers on the broiler. That was my job, to stand behind the broiler and just take a burger, put them on there, put them on there, put them on there, keep on doing that until they build up, and then You just kind of just take them out of there and then put them in a little warmer thing or whatever, right? So I'm standing back there and I'm doing it, and I know the order that came through. Now I'm not the person that's fixing the sandwich. This other guy was there fixing the sandwich, so he makes the sandwich and slides it through, and the guy does not leave the counter. He opens up his sandwich right there at the counter because this was a order in, and he says, "This is not extra pickles. I wanted extra pickles on this." So the manager was the person that was taking the order. There were no other people up at the register. So she turns around and gives the sandwich back and says, "This gentleman wants extra pickles. You didn't put extra pickles on here." So the kid takes the sandwich like, "Okay, he wants extra pickles." And he takes that bucket of pickles. It's
Oh
a
no.
huge bucket. It was like a paint bucket. It was a huge
Yeah, I know.
bucket of pickles.
I've worked with those pickle buckets.
He opens that pickle bucket up. He dips his whole hand and arm in there, and I'm watching him. He comes up and has all of these pickles on his arm and hand and just dumps it on the
That was
sandwich.
cold too, man. That bucket is cold.
Yes. He wraps the sandwich back up and slides it back down. The guy, we're teenagers. This guy he was not a teenager. He was a grown man. He opens the sandwich up at the counter and he looks at the sandwich and he looks back up and says, "Oh, you guys think this is funny, huh?" And the manager, she had no idea that he did that. So she tries to apologize and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, this, that, and other." And the guy raises his hand to her like he was going to hit her. All the guys who worked there jumped over the counter and proceeds to beat the crap out of this man. They beat him up, then they pick him up and try and throw him out the door. He falls down, then they take him outside, they drag him outside and they stomp him. And I bet that guy never asked for extra pickles again. I'm surprised he didn't try. I'm surprised he didn't try and sue Burger King after that happened.
He
Yeah,
should have.
yeah, I definitely would have. I mean, this is
Where
the
was this
'90s.
Burger King at?
It was on Ford Road. It wasn't on Ford Road. It was off of Ford Road, but it was on Ford and Schaefer. And the only reason I know that now is because it's demolished. And for work, I drive around in that area, and they're building something else there. And I saw them when they were taking
Yeah,
it down. Yeah, but
that's
that was
crazy.
the area. Yeah, everybody that was there got fired. I wasn't even in that altercation. I was there watching, but I didn't help in that. Everybody got fired. I even got fired, but I eventually
Serious?
got my job back. Yeah, I got my job back though because the girls who worked there, they vouched for me and said that I wasn't in it. And one of the guys who was actually in the fight, he vouched for me also. I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, you were in it. Funny thing, he eventually got fired because he came back one night and he robbed the place. He robbed Burger King. He came he came through the back door with a rifle and robbed him.
Dang.
Yeah, they were kind of careless. Some of those managers that were there at that time, they were kind of careless, man. They would leave money out because they would count money at the end of the night. And they would count it, and sometimes something would happen. They would just get up and leave, whatever. So he had came back and robbed the place, but they knew it was him. He got caught, you know. So
But he only got fired. He didn't get gone to jail.
and now, as far as all of that, I don't know. He wasn't a friend of mine, so he wasn't somebody I hung out with. So I don't know. I just know he got fired.
That's wild.
Yeah, yeah. That Burger King was wild, man. Some people didn't leave. They hung out there all night, had a party in Burger King at night, and would get up in the morning and then go to school. A lot of those guys went to high school with Ski, so they so Ski would tell me that they were hanging out there all night and just would come to school after that.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Do you remember when they had like Burger King Magic Show?
No, I
That
got
must have been that must have been just my Burger King.
I've never heard of
Because
a Burger King magic show.
I had like I think it was my brother and I's like eighth or ninth birthday. It was Burger King Magic Show.
I know
So you
McDonald's
had
used to have like birthday parties and everything, but I don't
you
remember
had the
Burger King.
play you had like a big play area. You got your food, and then there was a guy kind of looked like the creepy weirdo who did the spells that make you forget from Harry Potter.
Hmm.
Actually, the magician looked just like that dude. Had the fake smile and everything. Um, yeah, and he put on a whole magic show, and then we had food, and he was he put on like a magic kind of comedy show. We
Hmm.
got a video of it somewhere, I'm sure. Every time I tell my kids about it, they think I'm crazy. I'm like, the Little Caesars used to have a play area too. I'm like, y'all don't
Now I don't
know
remember
what we
Little
came up
Caesars
with those
having a
kids.
play area.
Oh man, there was like two of them.
See, man, I grew up in the city. I grew up in Detroit. You got all the luxuries in the suburbs, man. We didn't. We had the McDonald's was
I
the
know,
only
but
one that had a
I
play
mean,
area.
the Burger King, I don't remember where that was at, but the Little Caesars, it was like 20 minutes from my house. I don't know which way,
Hmm.
but you had, it was like a Chuck E. Cheese almost.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've never seen a Little Caesars with that.
Huh. You
If
grew up with
anybody
all
else
that
has, put
craziness.
it in the comments because I've never seen that or heard of that.
My mom would probably know where it's at. I'll
So
ask her.
what? Were you like sitting on a seesaw, like pizza slices, seesaws or something like that, or?
Probably. I don't remember, man. I know like there was play structures and like little tunnels and stuff you could crawl in.
Mm,
It
okay.
was all kinds of craziness like that. And then you get you had your pizza and your crazy bread and you know, the old Little Caesars. Mike Ilitch, man, that dude was trying to start a whole dynasty with
Yeah.
cheap ass pizza and family time.
Right. Now, do you remember when Little Caesars had pizza? And you just didn't go there to get one piece of pizza. You got two pieces of pizza. You got two whole pizzas, and they were like in
Yeah.
a bag. A long bag.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
They always had that whole pizza thing ran for so long. It
Yeah,
was
it
like one
did.
of the most annoying things, but when it was Friday and you wanted some pizza, you thought about that
Yeah,
pizza.
you did. Yeah. I mean, they. I mean, I think they pretty much stopped it when they started doing the hot and ready because I
Yeah,
mean, I remember it for a long time.
me too.
I remember
That
in
stupid
college.
commercial.
I remember in college when me and my boy used to go to get pizza. We had to come back a certain way because we had a guy that stayed on the end of our hallway on our dorm floor who used to always ask us. He used to smell the pizza, and he would come down and knock on the door and like, "Let me get a couple slices, man." So we used
Oh,
to we used to come through the opposite end and come up the steps that way and try and sneak into our room, but he still smelled it. I don't know how he did it, man. This dude, he smelled the pizza and he
oh,
definitely
y'all
would
are
come
too
down
nice. Forget that, dude.
there.
Crackhead. I'm gonna be like, this ain't a crack house, man. The first case ain't free. Five
Honestly,
dollars.
sometimes he had a car, so whenever we needed to come back to Detroit, like we would have to get ask him for a ride, so and then still like he wanted gas money also. That's messed up because he wanted gas money, and then we had
Yeah,
it was a certain amount of gas money that he would need, so we would have to ask other people sometime to if they wanted to ride home, and they can ride home with him.
dang,
Fun
that's crazy.
times.
And then want to hit you up for some free pizza.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly.
What you been up
Uh
to this week?
Man, same old man. Working. My manager was in town. So I took him around, showed him some of the stores when
Where's your manager normally?
he's from Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Nashville. So he flew up and worked with me a couple of days, and I took him around, showed him some of the stores. My territory is doing good. It's not doing bad, man. So they're pretty happy. T-Mobile and Ultra are pretty happy with what I've done here in Michigan and in Indianapolis. So everything's looking all good. So no problems. Getting the kids ready for competition. Man, my Saturdays are gone for the next 3 weeks, man. Every weekend. This
What's
weekend
this
coming up.
weekend? Lapeer?
This weekend is Lapeer. Next weekend is Detroit downtown at WC3. And
Oh,
then the
okay.
week after that is Ortonville. So the kids will be out there fighting.
Whose
So
tournament is Ortonville?
your instructor, Amy Serrato.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, his
See,
tournament.
he was always out in Union Lake, and then he was in Kegel Harbor. So I didn't know him when he was in Ortonville.
Yeah, he's
I
been
didn't
out.
know that.
Yeah, for at least the last 3 years,
So
I've been going to the tournament. It's been out there in Ortonville.
that's next weekend.
The 12th, April 12th. April,
April 12th. All right.
yeah, April 5th is downtown Detroit. It's Akibalon, and Curtis
Oh yeah.
Butler partnered with them this year for it.
Okay.
So that's the 5th, and then Dan Cousineau is this weekend. So the kids have been getting ready for it. This weekend. I don't think I'm taking a lot of kids. As far as I know, I think I have 4 or 5, or maybe 5 or 6 kids competing this week.
Yeah, I think that's what you said the other day.
Yeah, but it's gonna be more on the 12th and on the 5th. It'll be more kids competing. So
All right.
looking to get out there and show off their skills, and a lot of them too now they're in different divisions, and a lot of kids now have their own division also now, which is cool. So we'll see how that goes. And no
All right.
longer in the novice division, they're in intermediate. So
All right.
let me ask you this, Joe. Did you see the announcement from Marvel about Avengers Doomsday?
Yeah.
You did. What'd you think about the cast? You saw. I'm talking about the cast. You saw the cast list.
Yeah, I saw the cast list. Not, I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's
most
not
of the
all of them
people.
though.
Yeah, I know. That's what didn't make sense. Like, why are you showing us this? I mean, we already knew most of these people because, like, the Fantastic Four movie. I'm, I like the original cast for the Fantastic Four.
You mean from the
So
early 2000 movies, or you
yeah,
talking about this, or you talking about this one?
no, from the early 2000s.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I got you.
I mean, I thought they hit the nail on the head with that cast. This one, I mean, Pedro Pascal, he's a big name,
Hmm.
but I don't know that he's Mr. Fantastic.
I don't look at him and think Mr. Fantastic.
I thought they did better with the dude from The Office and
Yeah,
Doctor Strange.
yeah,
I
I
thought
did too.
he would actually been really well, but I mean, I'm not going to knock it till I see it. I'm excited for a Fantastic Four movie. I think it's been too long,
Hmm.
so I'm happy about that. Uh, bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, I love,
Hmm.
but bringing him back, going from Iron Man to Doctor Doom,
Hmm.
I don't know how that's going to work, man.
Well, maybe he changes his face to look like Robert Downey, to look like Tony Stark. Maybe that's what he did. I mean, because Doctor Doom wears a mask for a particular reason. It's not
True.
because his face isn't scarred or whatever. So maybe he changes his face to look like Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's out there, man.
Yeah,
Because I
I'm
mean,
like I
his
said,
he's actually Victor Von Doom. So
yeah, yeah. But I remember back at the end of Endgame when that came out, I told Travis and Avery that they would be back. They didn't believe me. I told them that this whole thing was going to happen. Like they were, they wanted them to have their own movies. They didn't want to do the crossover thing. They kind of over it. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm not over the crossover thing. We've had years of solo movies. Look at all these Superman
yeah,
movies. There's nobody there's no other superhero in the Superman movie. There's no other superheroes in the Batman movie except for the normal people who would be in a Batman movie like Robin
yep.
and Batgirl. Of course, those characters are in the
Hmm.
late '90s versions of Batman. But most of the time, we've never really seen crossovers. Even in the Spider-Man movies, do we have any crossovers besides villains? Not
No,
really. So I'm enjoying seeing what Marvel's doing and having us have all these different, seeing the Fantastic Four interact with the Avengers and the Avengers interact with
I
the
agree.
X-Men. I enjoy that because this is what we saw as kids growing up, either in comic books or in cartoons. You know,
Now, what do you think about them killing off the Kang dynasty because of his legal troubles?
that I think that was stupid because he's literally running away from this woman. He was literally running away from her.
But I'm just
And
saying, but to kill, they should have just replaced him,
they could have done that.
and it could have been done easily. There's
I
millions of variants of Kane.
Yeah, I don't really think it's they're done with Kang though. I don't think they're done with Kang. I think
I hope
I
not.
yeah, I think either Jonathan Majors is going to replay him or they'll get someone else to replace him. But you just can't end this saga like this. It doesn't make any sense. It's like what was the point for anything that we watched with either
Exactly.
in Loki and Ant-Man? Like you can't have Ant-Man beat Kang and that's just be the end of it.
I know.
something feels off with that one. So I'm not sure. So, but I
No,
did like I mean I
they're
didn't
gonna
have a
fix that.
problem. I didn't have a problem with I didn't have a problem with the cast list for Avengers Doomsday. I was surprised though that they're bringing back the original X-Men though. I wasn't expecting to see Patrick Stewart in this
Me
movie.
neither.
I wasn't expecting to see Kelsey Grammer or uh what's his name? What's his name? Scott Martin, the guy that plays Cyclops. Um, Also Rebecca Romaine, she's gonna be back in the movie. Alan Cummings playing Nightcrawler. I didn't expect to see him. Oh, sorry, James Marston. That's his name. James Marston is Cyclops. And Channing Tatum is back as Gambit. That, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting any of these characters, these variants of these heroes to be in this movie. I thought when we saw the X Men in the MCU, it would just been the new character, the new people taking over for them. Now after Secret Wars, I definitely believe there's going to be new people playing Wolverine and Professor X and all of them. But it's pretty cool that these characters are now able to be part of the MCU. Also, these this version of the characters are going to be able to
No,
be
I
part of
agree.
the MCU. I think that's
I
pretty
agree.
cool.
There's a
What
couple
about
of them are going to be at Comic Con. Jean Grey and I think uh, Hawkeye.
okay?
And there's
Jeremy
one
Renner.
more. Yeah, there's one
Okay,
more from the Marvel, but I forget who it was.
are you gonna get pictures with them?
Man, if I can wait in line that long and pay the money, we'll see.
Hmm. So this summer we have. Wait first? Did you see Civil War? I mean not Civil War. Did you see Captain America:
Not yet.
Brave New World? Okay, you didn't see that.
I want to really bad.
Well, I mean you just wait a couple more weeks. It's gonna be on streaming at this point in time.
I know. That's why I'm. If I don't get to the theater in time, I'll wait for it to stream.
Okay. So also we have coming out. We have the Thunderbolts coming out.
Yep,
And
that'll
we
be a good
have
one.
Fantastic Four coming out this year. And we have Superman coming out this year also. What is Superman? What is the title to the Superman movie?
You know what? I don't know. Is that
It's,
still Henry Cavill?
say that again.
Is that still Henry Cavill?
No, this new Superman movie.
Yeah.
No. You haven't seen the trailer?
No, I haven't even paid attention to it.
Oh wow, no. I
Oh,
guess
this
it's
is
just
like a. Is this like a Superman legacy?
Legacy. That's what it is. Yes. See, I always get Superman Legacy mixed up with Karate Kid Legends. That's why I keep on calling Karate Kid Legends Karate Kid Legacy. So I knew some movie was called
That's two
Legacy.
different things, man.
But it's the
Oh,
L,
this is
man.
coming out in July.
Yeah, man. You have. I'm surprised you haven't seen the trailer.
I'll look it up. You know what?
Man.
I told you already. I'm gonna tell you why I'm missing out on a lot of trailers because the stupid AI trailers are pissing me off.
Uh,
Because no, they really are. They should. There needs to be a law. All these dumb laws that Trump want to pass. Can he please pass a law where they got to distinguish whether it's an AI trailer or an actual trailer? Because it pisses me off when I see, oh, there's a new trailer for John Wick 5 or something, and you're like, oh, and you go watch, and you're like, this is literally clips from the other movie, and then they're just
yeah,
AI and
I know
it
exactly
pisses me
what you
off,
mean.
man. And I get halfway through it, and I'm like, man, this is garbage. And then I start hitting the report because that's who I am now. I'm gonna Karen this shit up.
There you go. I just sent you the trailer
All right, I'll
for
watch it.
Superman. Man, if man, I wish I would have knew a way that we could
Who
play
is
it on
this
here.
kid, man?
Playing,
David
I'm not,
Consweat? Never
I'm not,
he
I'm not familiar with him.
me neither, but he he kind of looks like what's his face, Peter Parker.
He Some of the shots he does not really look like Superman, and some of the shots that I've seen of him flying, he doesn't have the face of Superman. To me, but I'm not gonna complain about it, man. The trailer
Hey,
looks like
I'll
it's
take it.
really really good. It looks like it's
I
really
hope
really good.
so. I hope
So,
so.
so what I wanted to know is which movie were you looking forward to seeing? Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, or Superman?
I don't know enough about Thunderbolts, but I like a lot of the characters, so I'll probably enjoy that one. Fantastic Four, I've always enjoyed Fantastic Four, the storyline. So
Mhm.
as long as they don't mess it up, I'm happy. I'm excited for that.
Have you seen the trailers for either Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four?
I did see the trailer for Thunderbolts. I saw that one in the movie theater, so
How
that was
recent?
not AI.
How recent?
Pretty.
They had one kind of recently.
It was probably the second trailer. I don't think I've seen the third one yet.
Okay.
Oh yes, I have. I just saw it the other day online.
Okay. Okay. What about
Yeah,
Fantastic Four?
I did see the trailer for that.
Okay.
It took me a while because I did find two trailers that were AI, and
Hmm.
then I got the right one. So
Okay. I
that's the
wonder.
thing. Like when I check a trailer now, I check the comments first because the comments will tell you if it's AI or not.
Oh, okay. I got you. I look at the source. I got if I see something on Instagram or TikTok, I won't watch it there. Because a lot of times, like I don't want to have to try and adjust my screen on my phone instead of
Yeah,
the watching it vertically. I want to look at it horizontally. And I know you can do that on TikTok, but I just don't. I want to double check also. So I'll see it on YouTube. I'll look for it on YouTube, and
yeah,
if
that's where I
it
usually go.
yeah, and if it's something recent, if I see it on a reliable source page, then I'm like, okay, like if it's on IGN or something like that, I'm like, okay, cool. This is a real
Yes,
trailer this time, so I will watch this version. And if I see it on TikTok now, and I'll see it on YouTube, and it came out like it was like posted an hour ago, I pretty much know, okay, this is a real trailer, so I'm gonna watch it.
good.
Okay, cool. I think I'm looking forward to seeing probably Thunderbolts also out of those movies. I saw I keep on calling it, you know why I keep on saying Civil War for Captain America, because it was almost like it wasn't like Civil War. It was more like Winter Soldier type of feel, that
Yeah,
movie.
that's what I got from the trailer.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. So I enjoyed it.
How'd they do with
I did.
Red Hulk?
Huh?
How'd they do with the Red Hulk?
Well, they did not need to put that in the movie. I'm gonna put it that way.
Dang.
I
So they
didn't
just
dis I didn't
pigeonholed it
dislike it.
in.
Yeah, it felt like it was a little bit pigeonholed. Now, if they're going to use Red Hulk later on, like for Doomsday at some point in time, or if he's going to be part of Secret War, I get it.
Or World War Hulk.
I don't know if they're doing that. Only
I keep
because
seeing it coming up though. That
only
or Planet Hulk.
only reason I say that is because um after Secret War, supposedly the Marvel universe is gonna they're gonna kind of start it over, you know, because now they're going to have everybody on this. Nobody's going to be in different universes. The X Men not going to be in one universe. Fantastic Four not going to be another universe. They're all going to be together.
Yeah,
So I don't think some of the older I think some new characters are going to play some of these roles. Now, I'm assuming that some people might stay in their role, but I think the vast majority of people, I think they're going to get recast for the future.
yeah,
Like some younger people. Like I don't know, like if Tom Holland is going to continue to play Superman. I'm sorry, Spider Man in the future MCU. Like I think they might try and do Miles Morales' version of Spider-Man after Secret War. That's my theory. So I don't think Tom Holland is going to be the Spider-Man. Or I should say the main Spider-Man. He might pop up here and there, maybe, but I seriously doubt it. Robert Downey
yeah,
is not going to be Iron Man. I don't think. I think they're going to have another Iron Man and another Captain America and another Thor. So if you do that, I really don't think you're going to have the same characters playing Hulk, and I don't think Harrison Ford is going to be Red Hulk. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if they're going to save that character. I mean, Harrison Ford is in his 80s already, so like time is ticking.
yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be trying to play Red Hulk 10 years from now when he's 90.
Nope.
So I can't I don't know. So that's why I said I don't know if those characters are gonna stick around for that. So we'll see though. All right. Let's talk about Superman 3. First off, what did you think of this movie?
Terrible.
Really?
It was not good,
Okay.
man.
I
It
didn't mind
was
it.
really they
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Um, because writing wise, to me, it seemed like it was the same as the first two movies. Be-
yes and no. Okay, here's the problem. Okay, they they gave us who was the bad guy. They didn't give us like a typical bad guy.
No, he was a made up character. Like
That's
I
what I'm
looked it
saying.
up.
No
Like
Lex
this.
Luthor. No,
No,
no.
what was his
But
name?
then they, but then they kind of hinted at some bad, like not
Oh,
even
he
of the right
no. That guy was
movie.
definitely the guy was definitely a bad guy. Give
No,
me a
I
second.
know,
He was not
I'm,
our typical um
but he wasn't.
villain.
He was a Lex Luthor like
Oh,
character.
he
He was
was
full of
he was
himself.
yeah,
He
he
was full of
definitely
himself.
yeah, they
He was
wrote
super smart.
I honestly I think they wrote him. It seemed like they wrote this for Lex Luthor and Gene Hackman couldn't play Lex Luthor, so they got someone else to be a different version of Lex Luthor.
I
His name is
guess, man.
Webster. Ross
Yeah.
Webster.
Well, the movie starts off. We got Richard Pryor who's playing. What was his name? August.
August Gus, what was it? Gus Gardner? Was that his name? Gus Gorman. Gus Gorman.
Gus Gorman. And he's having money troubles. He's unable to collect his unemployment because he's towards the end and he can't get a job. And then he comes across this book of matches of all things. Talks about becoming a computer programmer, and then kind of goes from there. We go into like this montage of weirdness happening.
Oh, I hated this part. Oh my
It
god,
was
this was one of the worst openings in any movie to me.
yeah, but it was like I knew you knew what they were trying to do. They're like one thing set off another thing, set off
Yes,
another thing, set off
yes.
another thing.
It was
But this
that was
is
a
it
dumb
was just
idea to do that.
yeah, it was you got this person is rollerblading and they hit some telephones and they fall over and then it causes these penguins to go over, which I thought the penguins are funny because I mean the one penguin got lit on fire.
Hmm.
And so I was like, ooh, why would the penguin show up in Superman? That's where my brain went. Like,
You're thinking
but I'm
about the
like,
Batman villain Penguin.
yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. But I'm like, wait a second, this is Superman. Okay, never mind. But then, and this part made me laugh because the blind dog, the blind guy's dog ran away. Now
Yeah.
Gene just told a story.
Yeah, I thought of that too.
So
I
this
thought of
whole
that too.
part, all I could do was laugh because I'm like, oh, come on. Oh, we just saw it. And this guy, his dog runs away, so he's running around, and so he grabs like a street tarring machine, and he's walking with that instead of his dog. I mean,
It was
and
stupid.
then
I didn't like this at all.
here
This
comes
opening.
Clark Kent in his regular inconspicuous glasses, his suit,
Okay.
and his hat.
Okay. Let's talk about this part. I don't understand why Clark Kent is being a bumbling idiot around people he does not know. There's no need to pretend not to be Superman, or he could just been walking around regular. And what made me really think of that is when he went and got a newspaper. He opened a newspaper, he pulled the newspaper out, and he tore it in half and only got half of it. And was like, oh well, and put it up under his. I get it if Lois is around. I get it if Jimmy is around. But nobody else is around. Nobody's really paying attention to you. So why are you
He's
continuing to be like
really
this?
leaning into that role, man.
Yeah, yeah,
He's Urkel.
yeah. But that's one of the things. I don't know if I said this on the last. I don't know if I said this on the last podcast or not. But to me, it seems like it seems like Marvel characters. I'm gonna say Marvel and DC. It seems like Marvel characters have secret identity. Like Peter Parker is the main guy, and Spider Man is his secret identity.
Yeah.
In DC, it seems like Superman is the main guy, and Clark Kent is his secret identity. It seems you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like he's pretend, and the same thing with Batman and Bruce Wayne. It seems like he's really Batman and he's being Bruce Wayne as his secret identity. Like he doesn't really,
true.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what
no,
it
I get
seems
it.
like.
I think they're trying to do that. I think that's what they want, which but this is over the top
Yeah,
because
it
it's
really
like
is.
okay, nobody really knows it's you anyway, man. And
Not at
so
all.
trying to be this bumbling fool of an idiot. But the other thing that now it was a little funny. He went into a photo booth and there was
Hmm.
a kid getting ready to take a photo and he put the money in and then Superman pops out and
Yeah, and that's
he rips off the part of Superman, but the rest was him changing.
yeah. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, the kid is putting the money in. Why is the cameras taking pictures now? The kid wouldn't have been in there yet to set up for his picture. The,
I don't
the
know.
damn camera should not have been going off at that point.
My problem that made me laugh was the car filling up with water
Oh
that he
yeah.
was going to go save the guy was like 2 feet away. Why did he fly there?
Yeah. I
He
thought
could have
that
just
too.
walked over.
Or ran using super speed.
It was silly, but yeah, this was just a weird opening, and then we're at the Daily Planet, and honestly, they took Lois completely. Like Lois went on vacation, and that was the end. She was no longer a part of the movie till the end.
Yeah, to the end. Right. She had no purpose for this movie.
She and the funny thing, she's talking about going to Bermuda and takes out a bathing suit. Like, why do you have your bathing suit at work like that?
Yeah. Why did she even bring it? Why did she bring it to work?
That was weird. I guess the '80s were just different, man.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
I was a baby then, so I don't know any better, I guess. But this they talk about this Ross Webster guy, and I guess he's running is he running a company
Yeah.
that's doing computer programming or
I
the
I don't think they really said what the job was and what the business was. He just had a super big company, and we don't know what they manufactured or what they sold. We don't know anything like that. We just know that Gus gets a job there in the data entry. That's all we
yeah.
know. The data entry department. And he does the crazy thing is he doesn't even know how he's doing what he's doing. I didn't even get that because when he goes for a train, he goes to a class or something, and they're like, "How are you doing this?" He was like, "I don't know. I'm just doing it." What the hell are you even doing? Like I can see it be like I can input numbers fast, but these are old computers, and I remember when computers were like this. You weren't
So do
playing
I.
games. You weren't surfing the net. I don't even know what you did on computers back in the day. Like when I was on a computer as a kid, we were practicing how to type,
It's
and we
MS
played,
DOS.
a-
You're running code.
and we were playing video games, or we would do
Yep.
math work, or reading, or something like that.
Typing or Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, I forgot about that game. There wasn't much to do on computers back at this time. So
Nope. Um so yeah, so we're and the funny thing is so Lois is going to Bermuda and Clark wants to do a story about his high school reunion, which
like the people of Metropolis care.
about a high school reunion from Smallville.
Yeah,
But Perry lets him do it. The other thing that was weird is why are they doing this weird bingo game to
I
win a
don't know.
trip to South Africa?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't get that either. And then we do when we get to Gus and his job, he gets mad because all the stuff getting taken out of his check,
Well,
and
I mean, everybody
he's
can feel that.
oh, of course. So he starts talking to the payroll guy. Now I forgot about this until they started talking about it. Did you ever see the movie Office Space?
No, I didn't. I remember my parents had it, but I never watched it.
Okay, so Office Space, it's basically like this guy. He works in his own little office, cubicle, and he's doing this kind of work, data entry,
Okay.
and he hates it. He's like, just hates the job. It sucks. And he's got like 4 different bosses, and it kind of goes through what it would probably be like at most jobs, but this is just like this type of thing. So he gets hypnotized, and then he just like the guy that hypnotizes him dies, and then so he's kind of like in this weird state of mind where he doesn't care. So
Okay.
it ends up working in his favor for his job. But then he does this same scam when they start downsizing.
Okay.
And
As far
and
as taking the half cent.
yeah, so
Okay.
he sets up with 2 other guys. He sets up the same scam, and one of the guys actually mentions, "Oh, like Superman 3, right?" He actually
Okay.
mentioned it. That's why it made me laugh, because I was thinking about it, because I've seen that movie a bunch.
Okay.
And I didn't remember, like, when he referenced it, I was like, "Oh, I don't remember that from Superman." And then when I saw it, I was like, "This is what he's talking about."
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so he's talking with the HR payroll guy, and the guy mentions these half a fractions of a penny at the end of each, so that's where Gus wants to know, like, where do they go? And he's like, they don't go anywhere. They just disappear.
Oh,
So
they
he
went somewhere.
figures, well, you can manipulate him to go somewhere if you want, and he's deciding he's going to get on the computer and manipulate him to go into some kind of expense account. And so when his check comes around the next time, he gets his regular check, and then he asks for, he's like, I think I put in for an expense. How's that? And he got a check for $85,000.
Yeah. Now.
That's a lot of fractions of a cent.
Yeah. I was thinking like, how many damn people work there where you get that much money back? Number one. Number two. Would you have tried to get all of it? Like, I wouldn't have. I would have programmed it where I would have got a small amount where it would have been noticeable. Like, if let's say he got a check for $500, that probably
Yeah.
would have been good enough for Gus.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that probably would have been an amount that nobody would have ever noticed if that those half cents, were added up to $500, whatever. Nobody would have noticed that. But $85,000,
But the
and
crazy part is,
I wouldn't even did it in my name.
I know,
I would have
right?
I would have created another person and went somewhere else and cashed that check. It's
Now
going to
that
lead back
see,
to you.
uh, that's the way they did it in Office Space.
Okay.
But the problem in Office Space, someone messed up a decimal, so then they ended up with a huge amount just like this.
Okay.
But Gus did this on purpose. So
Hmm.
we go from that. We'll come back to Gus in a minute. There's a big chemical fire. So of course, Superman's gonna go help with that, and he's doing his best to help. He's making a slide, and he's doing all this stuff. But there's this gentleman watching this, like, I guess it's like a gas or a liquid, and he basically says, like, if it gets too hot and explodes, it's gonna like destroy the whole town. But
It's
what I don't
acid.
understand is, what is he doing sitting there watching? Like, you're sitting there watching this, you're gonna die with everybody else, and it's still gonna kill everyone. Like, I would be getting the hell out of there. Like,
Yeah.
let Superman figure this out.
Yeah. I don't know how he thought he was going to stop it or
That's
cool
what I'm
it
saying.
down.
But he wasn't even trying to stop it. He was just
No.
watching it. Why are you watching this? That's literally
I,
like saying this bomb's about to explode in 25 seconds. Why are you staying here? If you're not trying to stop the bomb, get out.
yeah, he told Superman to go get other people and save them. And also Jimmy was also dumb also.
Jimmy's also he thought he was Lois today
Yeah, I guess so.
because he got in trouble because he didn't get some pictures that he was supposed to get. So
Hmm.
now he's trying to get more pictures. But the crazy part is,
Well, Superman had to save him because he falls off that damn ladder.
yeah. So meanwhile, Superman's saving everybody, but he's still got to figure out, because the fire engine runs out of water. They thought they had enough water and they ran out. So now This was actually pretty good, but it was also pretty silly.
Yeah, I
They
don't
tell him
think that.
about a they tell him about a lake that's too far for the hose. So he goes to the lake, he freezes it, picks up the iceberg basically from the lake, and drops it on the fire, and it melts the iceberg and puts out the entire fire.
He would have had to do that more than once, though. That's what I was thinking,
That's what I thought too.
because I've seen those wildfires in California, and you're that's not dosing those fires
But
with just one time.
a chemical fire needs like dirt and stuff. I don't think
Yeah,
just some ice water is gonna do it.
you're
So I
probably
don't
right
know.
about that. Yeah,
But it was an interesting way to handle it, especially in the 80s. I mean, they got to get creative the best way they can. So Superman saves the day. Everyone's happy. He flies Jimmy over to get some medical attention, and because Jimmy broke his leg, and everyone's talking about Superman. Um, you know, I kind of wonder if anything chemical wise, because I know the kryptonite affects him, and magic actually affects Superman,
yeah.
which I don't know if a lot of people know that. I don't know where they find magic in the uh, DC universe, but it does happen. There's a couple of
Well, you
different
have
people.
you have some people who use magic. You have
Yeah,
Zatanna. You have John Constantine, and there's some other people also.
yeah. So I mean, those are people that can affect him as well. But they go to Clark, and he's at his high school reunion, and so with Lois gone, I guess Clark's moving on to old flames again with
Hmm.
Lana Lang.
Hmm.
Why do they keep their names so similar?
I was wondering that also. I don't know, but a lot of times that's what they did in when they came up with names for characters. They kind of wanted to have that
I know,
iteration.
but Lois Lane and Lana Lang, I mean, they almost
Yeah,
sound exactly like I could mess that up easily.
yeah, yeah. You're right. I don't know, man. Somebody
So we
somebody
get
wasn't being creative.
we get to the Smallville High, everyone's dancing, having a good time. Lana's running around, so Clark starts helping her. And who's the jock that never liked Clark? I don't remember his name.
I'll let
Guy's
you
an
know in one
idiot.
second.
He acts exactly the same. Which there are really
His name
some
is Brad
people.
Brad Wilson.
Brad Brad Wilson is he was the high school quarterback. He's over in the corner, still thinking he's cool, drinking a
Mm.
beer. Lana wants nothing to do with him, but he's trying. He's
Yeah,
trying real hard. Lana and Clark were talking. She has Clark going to dance, which again he plays this dorky whatever. He's just dancing like nobody's dancing like that, man. Like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
I don't see. I don't understand like why. Unlike Lois, unlike Lois, Lana likes Clark for Clark. She doesn't.
Exactly.
She doesn't need him to, be Superman.
Yes.
So you don't have to be as goofy. Like what if something, you know, happens between them and they really, really start liking each other?
Yes.
Like is he gonna have to say, okay, well, let me tell you who I really am? Or I was thinking like you're gonna put yourself in the same position that you were in with Lois. Like, why are you even teasing yourself?
He can't help it, man. He's a lover boy.
I guess.
So they leave the party for a minute, and they go back to August, and he gets his big paycheck, and he's super excited, and all that fun stuff. And then we go back to Smallville, and the party's over, and Lana and Clark are talking and cleaning up. And she tells Clark, she asked Clark if he ever got married. He didn't. She got married and divorced. She has a son. Is his name Ricky?
I
I
think
think she
so.
said. So she's talking about, and this is another like 80s thing. She's talking about how it's terrible that Ricky
Yeah.
doesn't have a father right now, and somehow Clark decides, oh, he's going to be the father figure.
Did she say
You
what
know,
happened to her husband? I don't remember.
I think she just said he walked out.
Okay.
So I just thought, like I said, Clark's a good dude, and Superman, but like, why don't you like get to date mom before? Usually you see these movies where you got a single mom. She wants to get to know people before introducing to her kid. She's like ready to make Clark stepdaddy,
Well,
like right away.
she was pretty much desperate, man. She's like, there's nobody in this town for me. I'm thinking about leaving this town. And the first good guy, in her opinion, that comes along is Clark. So she's like, you know what? That's better than nothing. That's how
I
she's looking at
guess.
it.
So we go back to the company, and you got the main bad guy, you got his sister, and some blonde chick that I guess is the girlfriend to Mr. Webster,
No,
whatever.
no, 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 no. She was something. She was she's his masseuse. What was she? She was something to
She
him.
did say his misuse, but I mean, I
Okay,
think
so
it was
she's was she okay, so it says that her name was Lorley, Lorley Ambrosia. She's his assistant and is skilled in
Laura
computers,
Lee.
but hides her intelligence from Ross and Vera. As part of Ross's plan, she seduces Superman. Yeah. So sometimes, like, she would say something and her voice would change what she was saying. I was like, what are they doing with this woman? Like, she would mumble something. She would say something, but she'll say it. She wasn't acting as dingy like she was earlier.
You know what I think they because at the end they had her looking more like this, but I thought they were trying to make her Brainiac.
Mm, okay, that's interesting.
But they never said it. They never
No.
really showed it, and she was never green. They kind of made her more of like a robot at the end
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
when she went through the machine or took on the lightning or whatever it was. I don't know. That was my opinion. I thought it was weird too, but
Okay.
it was you know, same time. So they're talking about the money, the 85,000, and they're saying, man, whoever did this was super smart. But if they're smart, they won't spend the money right away. And then they look down, and who's in a brand new Porsche?
Now that was dumb. They know you cannot afford that car. Why would you?
Listen, man, Gus got himself some money. He was super excited. He couldn't help himself.
Right.
But instead of calling him up and firing him or punishing him or telling him to give the money back, they want to work with him because of his
Mm-hmm.
smarts.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they want to work with? they they are talking about all their businesses, but the one business they're having trouble with right now is the coffee business because of Colombia.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? They didn't say what the other thing is. They alluded to. They said Colombia is good for two exports. They said, and they said coffee is one of them. We know what that
Yes,
other one was. They chose
of
not to
course we
say what it
do.
was.
But the stupid thing about this is where this movie lost me because, like I said, they want his computer smarts
Mm-hmm.
because they want Colombia out of the coffee business. But the way they want to do it is they want to take a satellite that can change the weather
Mm-hmm.
and use it to affect Colombia's coffee business so they can take over the coffee business.
Mm-hmm. I've I, I've heard that there may be a machine that can do this. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
Well,
Um,
I got to think if there's a machine that can do this, why are we having wildfires without you just make it rain?
yeah, you're you are right about that. But then wouldn't you blow the fact that you have a weapon that you can use to manipulate the weather?
If you are saving people in their
Oh,
homes,
I get it. I definitely get it. But what if they want those wildfires to happen?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that is really a thing that's going on. I've seen things and they said that they've alluded to it. I'm not really big into conspiracy theories and all of that crap. So I don't know, but
I'll read some
it's
of them
not
though.
it's not going to
I'll read
surprise
some
me
of them
either
because
way.
some of them make you think. Some of them make you think.
It's not going to surprise me either way.
Well, the funny thing is, so they're doing this whole thing with Colombia, and they're getting ready to mess up the whole weather in Colombia. But then one of the employees um for the Daily Planet wins a trip to Colombia.
Hmm.
So, however that works, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, they were
And
pissed.
then, so part of, and I don't know why they needed a cover for August, but they send August to Smallville, and that's where, I guess that's where the satellite is.
That was yeah. So no, I think that one of their businesses had an office there. That's why they sent him there, so he can use the computer, a particular computer that they wanted to, in order to control that satellite.
So we have August in Smallville now, and he's looking to set up shop, and he's got this ridiculously huge, like suitcase, briefcase. I don't even know what you call it.
Yeah, briefcase, I guess.
That was a big briefcase.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I
it
mean, it was like
was.
comically big.
Let me ask you this, man, because I was thinking about this the whole time. And I think most of the time people watch this movie, they don't like it because of the humor in this movie, right? I'm assuming that's what a lot of the anger of this movie is about. So I
The
got to
humor's
thinking,
fine.
okay, so I thought you might say that. How would you feel if you take Avengers, any of the Avengers movie, and you put Kevin Hart in it? That changes the movie completely. Like
Yeah.
I mean, and you start having humor in it. Kevin Hart being silly and doing this normal. It kind of takes away from the movie, all of the silliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, any superhero movie, like I mean, Spider Man,
Well,
Batman. You can't. And I think that's one of
Marvel's
the
pretty
problems with
good at
it.
adding good humor, but
Yeah,
sometimes
but no.
Marvel's Marvel's humor goes a little crazy.
Yeah, but it still wasn't goofy humor. It wasn't silly humor. You know,
No,
it'll
true.
be it'll be conversational humor, things like that. It won't be just ridiculous like this big suitcase that he full
No,
of
I agree.
alcohol. You know, that's
Yeah,
not going to happen.
whatever. The so that's not even the craziest part about this whole scene because after we see that, we go over to Clark and Lana having a picnic, and the kid running around with his dog. But why is this kid running around in some random wheat field? And then all of a sudden, these big ass tractors come, and he just hit his head on a rock. I mean,
Did we see him fall?
no.
That's okay.
Superman
I thought
used
I
his
blinked or something.
supervision.
I thought I blinked or something. I was like, what happened to the
No,
kid? Like, how did he even fall? Like, what?
no,
Why is he laying down in the and like they're hanging out in weeds?
that was the weird part. But these two are trying to spark a relationship, and so they just tell the kid, "Oh, just go play over there."
Yeah. Well, I can see that, man. I can see if I was out with my parents or my auntie and her boyfriend or something like that as a kid, I could see me and Trav running around playing. But he had to have. This kid was this. He had to have been knocked out. They gave no explanation. They should have showed him
They
tripping
showed
and
a
hit.
rock. They showed his head on a rock and
Yeah,
some
but they
blood.
should have showed. They should have showed him tripping, so we knew
I
what was
agree.
going to. The scene that we saw, which is him laying there,
Yes.
and I'm like, "Get your ass up! What you doing?" You know,
So
I didn't.
Superman had to fly over. He had to do a quick change because he was Clark at the time. Fly over, stop the tractor, pick up the kid, bring him to the mom, and then she's looking for Clark, and Clark was like,
Well,
"Oh look, I found the dog."
actually, what happened also, she noticed that her car was leaking oil. Now, from her point of view in the grass, I was looking. I was like, well, how could she have seen that her car was dripping oil from where she was sitting in the grass? Because the grass was up high. You shouldn't have been able to see anything. And why are you even thinking about your car right now? You're on a date. You're having a picnic.
Cause man, she got problems. She got no good man. She lives in this crummy ass town. She got this kid and this
Oh,
dog. She got
did you
this car that's leaking oil apparently.
did you hear what they said about Clark's mom?
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, they just threw that out there. Like,
They just
yeah,
grazed on over it.
like, oh, you haven't been back since your mom died. Anyway, I'm like, wait a minute. He has half his paycheck going to that address. What's
Yep,
happening? You
not
know?
anymore.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, so Gus has to get in this building that he doesn't work at, and so who's the security guard? Oh, it's what's his face? Uh,
Oh,
Brad.
Brad or Brian or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Brad. So they get to
Yeah, Brad.
drinking, and Gus is thinking he can get Brad knocked out with a couple of things of alcohol, and it took a lot more before he could finally set these satellites up and everything. And then when he gets in there, he needs to turn two keys at the same time. So
How did
he
he?
needs Brad.
How did he even know Brad was an alcoholic or
I
whatever his
don't know,
problem
man.
is? Because he.
I don't know. But the crazy thing is, he's doing all this and he's drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he has to go to this computer, and
I take
then
it you didn't
he
like.
has to do. Oh, this part was funny. It was fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't mind it.
It was stupid
He
though, but it was
It
funny. It
was
was.
very stupid. I mean, he set Brad up like a puppet, and then
Yes,
used
he
him to
did.
turn the key. It was clever. I mean, for the '80s. I love Richard Pryor. He was funny in this. He
Yeah,
was
he was.
fine.
Yeah.
He was a little lost in this movie, but he was fine. So we get that. And then, so while they're doing all that, you know, he has to get back and get over. And then he, like you said, that the crazy thing is like, how does he know how to do all this? But then the other thing that they're doing is why is other things happening that's not to do with the weather? Is it because he was drunk? Because
Yes.
he's like got
Yes.
money coming out of the
So
ATMs and stuff.
yeah, so he is trying to figure out how to take over the satellite. So
Well, I guess he's
so
not as smart as
evidently
he thought he was.
evidently this computer is connected to every damn thing in Smallville.
Yeah,
So
because he's
he's
messing
messing
up traffic.
yeah, he's messing up everything. Like once again, like this did not have to happen. This was just something to make us laugh and to be silly, and it really wasn't needed.
Maybe Richard Pryor was pushing that.
I mean I'm serious. Like I couldn't imagine seeing this in any other superhero movie. This part.
No,
Not
I
even in the
agree.
Thor not even in the Thor movie.
Now,
It'll take you out of the movie.
uh, then he finally figures it out, and we get this big like tropical storm in Colombia. And then the crazy thing about that is the couple that won the trip there, they want to sue the Daily Planet because their trip got ruined.
Yeah. You know what? When this part happened, I didn't even realize this was that couple. I didn't
Oh, for
realize.
real?
No, I didn't. I didn't realize it. When he came running into the Daily Planet saying, "Oh, I'm about to sue." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? What's going on?" Like I had to think about what because we saw them in Colombia and they said, "Oh, what they say a native wedding or something like that." And I was like, "Who's this
Yes.
random?" I was like, "Who is this random couple?"
That was the couple that won the. I knew that. That was the couple that won
they
that trip.
yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know of. I know it. I really wasn't paying attention to them because I'm trying to figure out what happens a lot of times. Clark is talking to whoever, Perry White or Lois Lane, and then something else is going on over here, and I'm not paying attention to the other stuff that's going on over here. I'm listening to what Clark is talking about, so I'm not paying
Got
attention
you.
to the silliness of it.
Got you.
Go ahead, man.
So, so their plan works, but then what we don't know is Gus comes back to talk to Webster, and he's all excited
Mm-hmm.
because it worked, but Superman stopped it. And
Mm-hmm.
he's apparently a fan of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where this became Lex Luthor because he's talking about, well, Superman swooped in with his blue cape, and he's got his own cape on and all this stuff, and he's explaining it. But Wester's, he's pissed because he's like, no, man, now we got to kill Superman.
Yeah, when that happened too, I was thinking like, when did this happen? Like we didn't see any of this. So
They
when he
didn't
was
show
talking
it.
about,
They
when he
only
was,
showed it when Gus was talking about it.
yeah. So I thought like was lying because I was like, he's lying. We didn't see any of this. Like he's in Smallville. Like how would Superman even know what the hell is happening? Did they show him here in a news report or something, or
I don't
did
know.
he acknowledge it? If they did, I missed it.
Okay, but then what about now Gus on the skis flying over the side of the building? What the hell was that?
It's stupid. He should have died. He
He
fell
should
from
have
the
been.
top of the skyscraper. He
That's what
fell
I'm
all the
saying.
way down. He should have
And I
died.
thought Superman was going to save him or something, and then, but no. So I don't know. So they tasked Gus with trying to find out how to make kryptonite
Hmm.
again using the computer.
Hmm.
And he gets every element except for there's a 52% element and it says unknown.
Hmm.
So he just looks at a pack of cigarettes and says, okay, low tar.
Which makes sense because there are going to be certain things on other planets that we don't know what it is. We can't figure it out because we're not from that
Yes,
particular planet,
because it doesn't exist.
right? For us. So, and even if we did know what it is, that doesn't mean we have the means to recreate that. So
Now,
that was pretty stupid.
Ricky ends up with Superman at his birthday because he told everyone that Superman was going to be there since Superman saved him. So then Superman shows up in Smallville, and it's not just Ricky's party. It's the whole town throws a party for Superman.
Hmm. Now, at that point in time, wouldn't you have been saying, "Where's Clark?
Yeah,
He's
he
in
should have been.
town. He's in
Yeah.
he's in town."
Well,
Like,
technically, he was at the Daily Planet though when Lana called him
oh, I missed. Oh, you know what? You are right. My bad.
because he
My
was writing
bad.
the story. He was
Yes,
writing the
my bad.
story.
My bad. You
Yeah,
are right. You're right. But this is
but
still Ricky. He spent time with Ricky, and this is
yeah,
he supposedly contacted Superman for this event. You would have thought that he would have been there for this party.
he should have been.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, Gus shows up with the fake kryptonite as a gift for Superman. What?
Hmm. Yeah.
Superman should have seen that and thrown back at him. They're like, I don't want
Yeah.
this crap.
He was a little leery at first. He was looking at it like, "What is this?" And he said it was a sculpture or something. But just the fact that it was green, I would have been, keeping my
Just the fact
distance
that
from it.
this random guy showed up dressed as a crazy like
Military
cartoon
guy.
character,
Yeah.
and they were mad because they didn't realize it didn't affect them at first, but it did affect them. It just didn't affect them in the way they wanted it to.
Right. So he
Now
kind of got
my
poisoned. He kind of got poisoned by this fake
okay,
kryptonite.
now from my understanding from the comics and some of the other stuff, there is a kryptonite that does this to Clark. It's or to Superman, but it's red kryptonite.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
There's supposed to be different colors of kryptonite that have different effects,
Okay.
from my understanding.
And that's another thing, man. So just to go back real quick, Gus figures out where Krypton was. How do you figure out a planet that you don't even know ever existed at all? It's not
They
like
said
it's in
with the
our solar.
satellites.
Yeah, but it's
They
not in
said
our
with the
solar system.
satellites.
Yeah, it's how do you figure that out? Like what direction to look or where he came from. I mean, you're looking up through space and you're not going to
Yeah.
see the planet. You're not going to see like debris anywhere.
No,
How do you know where to look? And he figured that out in a couple hours.
I guess.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So we start seeing the effects of the kryptonite from Superman because he's at Lana's having lunch. and all of a sudden, like
He gets super hard.
the the
Because he wants some Alana.
he's 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 definitely the man of steel right now.
There
Um,
you go. There
but
you
the
go.
town, how does the town know that that's where he's at? Because the town calls him to tell him that the bridge is out and they need Superman.
That was funny. That was
And
funny.
his response to Lana was, "Oh, I always get there on time." And then
Yeah,
he starts trying to pick her up.
yeah, yeah. He wanted some Alana before he left. That's what he wanted.
He was like, "Oh, we can get this done real quick before I go save these people."
That's right.
So basically, the Kryptonite had changed his personality. So now he's slowly but surely becoming a bit of an asshole.
Hmm. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, the way they show this. So after he starts hitting on Lana, then they show him over with the Leaning Tower of Pisa,
Hmm.
and he pushes it from leaning to straight. I just thought the humor of this was funny because it's like, can you imagine the writers going, okay, we need some stuff that's real, like it makes Superman evil, but it has to be silly
Yeah. That. I mean, I
because he
think they were
pushes the
high.
tower up. He put, yeah, right,
Because like I
probably,
never in my wildest thing ideas would I ever come up with this. Like if you're thinking about like what's something that's mean that Superman could do? Oh, he could straighten the leaning tower of Pisa. Like what? Like that wouldn't have been on my bingo card for him to do. I would have came up with something
but
else.
even better, the next one they show him, they're doing the Olympic torch,
Hmm.
and
You
he's
know they never.
waiting for the guy. He's waiting for the guy to finally get there. What was it? They said it was like they brought the torch from like 5,000 feet or something like that, or it
It's
was
from
a
Athens.
5K.
It's from
Yeah,
Athens. No, it's from Athens. So it's from all around the world. So
yeah,
they take it and they'll just pass it to the next person. The next person will run
yeah.
for a particular amount and then
So
pass
is
it
it
to the next person.
the last one? He's gonna throw it in that big thing.
Hmm. He
Superman's
was
just
gonna
sitting
like
there.
it.
He just blows it out, and he's
They
laughing.
yeah, and they never corrected that either. They never corrected that later on because at the end of the movie he goes back and corrects things. He didn't fix that one.
Nope. And they look right up at him. He's just like, yeah. So what? I mean, he even goes this far to go sleep with the secretary. She
Yeah,
seduces him and then tells him to go bust open the oil tanker for. I don't know why they needed that oil tanker. I guess that was another one of his businesses.
yeah, no. So what's his name? Webster wanted all of the oil. So
Yeah,
one oil tanker would not because he said he wanted all the oil tankers to meet in the middle of the Atlantic, and I guess he was like kind of going to hold it hostage. And one oil tanker was like, "That doesn't make any sense. I'm not going there and just waiting. We're going to keep on going to where we're supposed to go." And they saw that he wasn't going doing what the other tankers are doing, so they sent a message directly to them like, "Hey, go to this
okay,
location," and he wouldn't do it. So then that's when they sent Superman. And to go back real quick, so he did eventually go when he first started turning. He did go to save that truck that was hanging off the bridge, but he was there too late. Luckily, the
yeah,
people that were on scene they were able to get those people out of the truck, and then he just let the truck fall. And he was too late. And then he kind of noted he kind of felt bad, but the effects of the fake kryptonite was starting to have his effects on him.
yeah. It was getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah. And I'm glad that we saw it happen gradually. It didn't just happen at one big time.
Now I'm gonna tell you, this part took me a minute, and I had to watch it a couple times because I was trying to figure out, and then I did get it. So the way they show him beating the effects of the kryptonite
Hmm.
was they show like an imaginary fight between Clark and Superman.
Hmm.
So Clark is the good side, representing the good side, and Superman is the bad side until
Now you know why that happened,
somehow
right?
amazingly Clark is able to to win and then take over and make him lose the effects. Why do you say that's happening?
That happened because of Ricky. Ricky was trying
Oh
to
yeah,
get him to wake up out of this trance, and he's screaming, and he hears him, and he flies away, and he's still hearing Ricky call out to him. So then that's
yeah.
the good in him started to fight, try and fight his way, back,
But
into his own body or whatever.
it's funny that the good manifested as Clark instead of Superman. Why wouldn't it be Superman good versus Superman bad?
I don't know. He didn't even have any powers except for being strong.
But I'm saying Superman isn't Superman because of Clark and the way Clark was
Right.
raised.
Right.
Superman was already told by his family and his parents to be representative of good and to fight evil and to show the humans the way, the right way to peace and whatever.
Let me ask you this: how do you think Clark's parents would have reacted if they saw him being like Clark? Do you think they would have said like you don't have to be this goofy, you
Acting
know?
like a tool?
Yeah,
Who
like you don't
knows?
have to do all of this. Like you're taking it to the extreme to not let people know that you're Superman. As a matter of fact, do you think his dad would even approved of him being? Well, I guess we've seen different, you know, versions of Clark as Superman with his parents alive,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't think I've ever, me personally, I've never seen a conversation between Superman and Ma and Pa Kent. I wonder how they feel about him being Superman and acting the way that he acts as Clark. Like, do you think they would have been like you don't have to act this goofy? I don't like. I could see Pa Kent saying like, I don't act like this. That's not how a
True.
human acts.
True.
This goofy.
Yeah.
What
Now,
did you think of this fight?
I thought it was interesting because, I mean, like I said, at first I was like, okay, is this like when he somehow erased Lois's mind? Like now he can separate his consciousness? But then I realized what it was. It was him trying to fight off the effects of the kryptonite.
What I was wondering is if you or I were there, because it looked like he was fighting in a junkyard.
Yeah.
If we would have saw two different people fighting, or if we would have just saw the one Superman like
No, man,
wrestling around with himself.
it's Fight Club.
What do you mean by that?
You never seen Fight Club?
Mm-mm.
Oh well, I can't ruin it for you. Never mind then.
No, go ahead, man. I mean, that movie's old as hell.
Fight
I mean,
Club
I mean,
is
but,
he's
but but what did you mean by when you said it's Fight Club?
same thing. So Edward Norton's character manifests Brad Pitt as the
Oh,
side.
okay,
So Edward Norton is a coward, and Brad Pitt is the one running Fight Club, but they're the
okay,
same person.
okay.
They're the same person. Yeah.
But but do you think Clark was? Well, do you think Superman was just rolling around on the ground and hitting himself in this junkyard, or do you think that
Probably.
the Clark Kent version actually really did walk out of his body the way
Nah,
they
man. There
portrayed it?
was because they at the end when it was done and over, they went back together.
No, the one disappeared. He kind of vanished after getting choked out. He just kind of
The bad one, but he was still
yeah,
Superman, not Clark. He wasn't Clark Kent again.
right. No, but he
So
was
yeah.
Clark Kent, and he just opened his shirt, and he had the Superman outfit underneath.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know then. That's weird.
Yeah, I was that's what I was thinking when I was watching the fight. I was wondering like, is did he really split himself in two, or is he really just rolling around on the ground like tripping? Because I mean that's what would happen if you're poisoned and your body's trying to fight off the poison. Like you will be trying to get it out of your system. You're not actually fighting yourself. You might be convulsing or something like that.
So this last part for me was just kind of did it because where did they get this random weapon?
Hmm. Oh, so okay, so Gus was tired. You're talking about the computer, right?
Yes.
So Gus was saying Gus was tired of doing everything for Webster and his crew. He was like because he's not getting anything out of it. Maybe they might
Yes.
have been giving him some money or whatever, but he wasn't getting what he wanted. And he's doing the majority of the work. So he was like,
Yes.
listen, I want a supercomputer. That was the supercomputer that he asked for. And he
Oh, okay.
showed them he showed them plans and said, with this supercomputer, I can do whatever I want to do. And
Got
if
you.
you tell me what to do, I can tell the computer to do what you want it to do. So have this built for me and I'll do whatever you want. So that was Gus's computer. He wanted that computer.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Well, this computer had everything because it had
Now, how it
a
got made
weird.
so damn fast is
I don't even know. It had
that's
a weird
that's crazy.
suffocation bubble, and it had a shield, and it had a kryptonite ray. But how did all of a sudden you couldn't make kryptonite, but then you got a kryptonite ray? I
Well,
don't know.
his sister said that she said that she was smart also. So she figured out how to make kryptonite, which did not make sense because there was an unknown element. And how would you ever figure out what that unknown element was? And they didn't explain how she did it. She just said, I figured it out. Webster even
Yeah,
said he just said we figured out how to make it.
there's a lot of that going on in these movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then this is where they said the machine was taken over, trying to draw its own power to stay alive, because August took a part out that to make it shut down, and then it started trying to run itself. And that's when the blonde somehow ended up being taken in by the machine, and then kind of came out. They kind of made her look like a robot, and that's where
I
I
know I know
started.
what you're talking about. But I thought that was
Was
the
Oh no,
sister.
it
That
was
was
the
the
sister. You're right.
yeah,
It's the sister. Never mind.
yeah.
The sister came out, and she was silver. She had hair, but they made her look very. And so I started thinking, like, I just didn't know if maybe this was meant to be Brainiac,
I don't think
and they
so.
just didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I don't know. It was weird,
Yeah,
but
very, very weird.
I mean, it would have made sense. At least it would have given us a relevant Superman villain,
Yeah. Yeah, these
even
characters
though
that are the
it
villains of
would have
this,
been all the way at the end.
I looked them up, man. They were specifically made for this movie. Like none of these characters are in DC Comics.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So either way, Superman and Gus kind of help destroy this supercomputer. Superman takes the bad guys to jail, and he actually helps Gus out since Gus made the right decision at the end
Yeah, no,
and
that's some
gets him.
bullshit.
No, I agree. He should have been in jail. He
Yeah,
did a
because
lot of bad before he finally did some good.
exactly. He did bad throughout the whole movie. Like if he was like, and it wasn't like he was being forced to do these things. He wanted to do these things also because he thought he was going to get something from Webster.
Yes.
So why he didn't go to jail at the end of this, I don't know.
He did not just go to jail. Superman hooked him up with a job.
Yeah, yeah. Even though he didn't take it though, he didn't take the job, but he
No,
could
but
have.
he still tried to.
Right.
And then the part that really cracked me up was we get all the way to the end, and then Lois all of a sudden comes back,
Mm-hmm.
and she's talking about how what a wonderful story Clark wrote
Mm-hmm.
about his high school reunion. But not only that, Lana is now working at
Yes.
the Daily Planet.
And she looks, and Lois is looking a little jealous.
Yes, very much so. Which is weird because she never liked Clark.
Right.
But I guess a little competition changes all that.
I guess so.
But I
I guess.
don't. The thing that made me laugh was Clark's story was so good about a high school reunion. Meanwhile, Lana's writing stories about terrorists,
You mean
about
Lois?
Superman. I mean, yeah,
Right.
Lois, about Superman. I mean, she's writing award-winning stuff, and she's like, "Oh, good job, Smallville."
Right.
I
Right.
don't know. And then at the end, you see Superman fix the Leaning Tower of Pisa again. And the joke in that one was there was a guy selling replicas. So he was mad because all of his replicas were leaning,
Hmm.
and then he got new ones that were standing up, and so when he put it back, he got mad. So he's not a fan of Superman right now,
Yeah, yeah, he was pretty upset.
and that's pretty much where the movie ends.
Yeah. Um, what grade are you giving this? I know this wasn't your favorite.
Nah, this is a C for me. This is not great.
Okay, I mean that's you gave the other ones B's, right?
Yeah, I mean this was watchable, but
Yeah,
it
man.
wasn't terrible. But
If it wasn't as silly, I think I would have given this a B, but I'm going to give this a C minus. To me, the writing was on par with the other two movies. To me,
yeah,
like
but I guess
it just
I was hoping to get a good bad guy. I guess
yeah, okay, I got you.
something. That's what makes these Superman movies. You need a bad guy.
Do you think you would have? Do you think you would have liked it better if Lex was in this position, Lex and Miss
Doesn't even have to be Lex.
Tessmacher
Give
and
us someone else. Give us someone else.
mhm.
There's so many bad guys to choose from, man. Come on, give us
Yeah, he
someone.
really didn't have anybody really to fight, did he? I mean,
No, that's what I'm saying.
he was the bad guy. Himself was
Yeah.
the bad guy.
Yes. So like the first one you get us Lex. The second one you give us Zod,
Hmm.
and his cronies. So yeah, you need to, that's how these movies work. You always get the superhero, and then you get a one or two, sometimes three new bad guys.
Hmm. I believe Lex is going to come back in the fourth movie.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I believe Lex is coming back. So, all
We're
right.
not going to get
So,
no dark side or anything like that, huh?
no, no, not at all.
Come on.
So, we're going to watch Superman 4 next week, and then we're going to wrap it up with Superman Returns. And then you're going to understand what I'm talking about because I alluded to something
Yep.
for Superman Returns. So, and then also you can check out our other show, Fist Kicks and Flicks. This week we talked about Rocky Balboa, which is the sixth movie in the Rocky franchise. Next week we're gonna start on the Creed movies. So we're gonna do Creed 1. So those should be fun. Anything else, Joe?
Oh man, I'm good.
All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong, and just oh my goodness. That's gonna be a tongue twister for me, Joe. Stay super, and we'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music.